Okay, so I've never been live on here before. I've only been live on Instagram. So I don't really know how to work anything. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know how to do this one. So I've only ever been live like on Instagram. So I know Instagram like fairly well. I don't know this. This is new to me. Hey, Chris. All right, people. Okay, people are coming. Okay, so I apologize in advance. I don't know how to use this. The setup is different. I'm used to Instagram. Instagram looks a little bit easier. I think this just looks intimidating. Once I figure it out, I'm sure I'll be fine. So how is everybody today? How are y'all doing? Hi. I know that you did say that you were gonna watch the live. There probably won't be that many people here today, because I think they're so used to Instagram, and they might not like be over on the YouTube channel. I think that's so funny because I have a lot of followers on like Instagram. It's probably because like I follow back, which I probably, but I like meeting new people, so that's why I follow back. But so many followers on the Instagram and not that many on the YouTube yet. But I'm hoping that the YouTube is going to be able to grow and stuff. Do you guys want to chat with me? Do you want to ask me any questions or anything? I don't think I had anything that I overly wanted to say. I think I just wanted to hop on and communicate with you guys and talk with you. I get bored sometimes being at home by myself. I know that with Instagram, you can have people come in and you can like video chat with other people. I'd like to do that, but I don't know how to do that on here. Let me hold on one second. Oh, people are messaging me. Hold on. I'm gonna go live on Instagram and tell people to come over here. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. Do you guys know if you can chat on Instagram with other people, like on here, not on Instagram, like with the video thing? Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure that you guys can hear. Your crush? Okay, just wanted to make sure that you guys can hear everything. Do you want to chat with me? Do you guys, I don't know if you guys know if you can do like the video conversation thing or whatever on YouTube. I know you can do it on Instagram, but I wasn't sure. I'd like to be able to get people and see your guys' faces and have an actual conversation with you. Let me look it up. I guess I probably should have looked it up prior to starting. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay, can you... Oh, I see that you can do a live chat, which that's what we're doing anyway, so I mean... Did you guys watch the Haunted Doll episode? The testing the Haunted Doll? What did you guys think about that? Hi! I'm just jumping on just to talk to you guys for a little bit. It's been very boring at home because my boyfriend works all the time and I'm stuck at home and the kids are at school, so. I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions about the doll itself. If you guys wanted to maybe... Oh, you haven't had a chance to watch it? Okay, cool. Well, that's okay. So in the video, I bought a haunted doll. I paid like $40 for the doll or something like that. And then I did test her out. I used a spirit box, I used EVP, I used SLS camera, and I actually did not get anything from her, which is kind of a little sad. I was hoping to get some stuff. Do any of you guys have any thoughts on like what we should be testing with her, or like anything else we could do, anything that I could buy, like equipment wise, and maybe test her with? Let me see if I can put her up there. She just looks creepy. I apologize. Oh, I also wanted to say that somebody had pointed out that there was like a shadow crossing in like behind me, and it wasn't a shadow. The way that where I was filming was out in my living room, and there's actually a big like window, and whenever anybody like drives by, that shadow comes in, and that's what that was. So that wasn't like an entity or anything. Well, hello to all 6 of you. I'm so happy that you're here. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people here because I don't have that many subscribers on YouTube yet. I'm just kind of trying to test this out and like learn about it because I don't know much about the YouTube version. Like I know how to go live on Instagram and I know how to like function that. I don't really know how to function the YouTube one, so that's kind of what I'm working on. I was going to see if any of you guys wanted to chat with me, ask me any questions, tell me some of your stories. I know that on Instagram Live, you can have people join you and like it'll show their screen on the top. I don't know if you could do that through actual YouTube. Would anybody want to try to do that? Maybe we could exchange some stories. I love doing that. I love talking to you guys. You guys have some interesting stories. I have some stories too, but I don't have a lot of stories. Like I didn't grow up like having experiences like as a kid all the time. But I did, after my attachment, I did have some creepy stories that I could share with you guys if you wanted. Let's see. Oh my gosh, my computer's dying. Hold on one second. Let me plug it in. And then we'll get started. Oh shit. I almost fell. It's going really good. And also I am wearing shorts, but they're like nude color. I'm sorry if it seemed like I wasn't wearing shorts. Hello from Denmark. That's a very far away place from here. How is it going for you guys? How's weather? How's COVID situation? You know, what's it like over there? Here in Indiana, I think they just lifted the mask mandate. So like you don't have to wear a mask anymore, but they left it open. So the county that I live in, since I live in Indianapolis, it's very populated. I think it's like the 7th biggest city in the United States. I don't know, I could be wrong, but they did, for this county that the city's in, they did leave it up to the business owner as to whether or not you had to wear a mask or not. So that was that's like the business gets to decide. So you can go to places like Walmart and they'll make you wear a mask, but like maybe some of the smaller businesses won't necessarily make you wear one. I know that my internet is like not that good, so I'm sorry if it's like super like sketchy or anything. Do you guys want to share stories? I know I'm asking a lot. I honestly had no plan. I was like, I'm just going to wing it and I'm just going to talk to you guys. So there was this one house that I lived in. after my attachment. So this was years after my attachment. And they called it was really weird because there was like 2 bedrooms, but then there was like a 3rd bedroom on the 2nd floor, but it wasn't really a bedroom. It was kind of like a little studio room. It wasn't very big. And then you'd basically walk into that room, and in the corner there was stairs that would lead you into the attic. So you would go up into the attic, and the attic was painted blue on the walls but red on the floor, and the owner called it the Spider-Man room, which is really weird because I guess one of the kids really liked Spider-Man, so they painted the room like that. I don't know, it was very creepy. Anyway, so I put my bedroom up there since it was the attic was a lot bigger than the bedrooms that were on the 2nd floor. So I took that bedroom, and I remember sleeping in it the first night that I had moved in. And I remember waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to like sulfur smell, and it did not smell very good. And I just had this feeling that was like so bad. It was a feeling of dread. And so I got through that night, and I slept up there again for the 2nd night, and then I was too chicken shit to do it again. I was like, I cannot sleep up there. Like, I wake up every night at 3 o'clock. Like, it smells like sulfur. I always feel like I'm being watched. So I actually took all my things out of that room. Well, I left all the big stuff. So I left all like the furniture and everything that I had up there, but I took like my clothes, and I actually went and I started sleeping in the living room because I could not sleep in that room anymore because that room was way too creepy for me. So I was like, I can't do that. That house, I lived in that house for maybe 3 years. And yo, Jared King, hey! So I'm just going over some creepy stories. I was gonna see if somebody wanted to join in with me and like we could have a conversation where I could see like their face, but I don't know if YouTube has that. Do you know if YouTube has that? Because if YouTube has that, then maybe you should hop on and then we'll exchange scary stories. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the reply, because I think my internet's really slow and that's why I can't why the comments aren't coming in like when they should be. And I think they're like a little bit behind. Anyway, so basically I lived in that house for 3 years, and those were the only 2 times that I ever stayed upstairs because I was too scared to stay upstairs after that. And I have quite a few different stories, but basically so another story is I had a dog. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, or if you've been following me on Instagram, you guys know that my dog passed away last year in June, which is pretty unfortunate, but he was 11 years old. So I had him ever since he was a puppy, and I got him when I was in high school. So basically, this dog never barked at anybody, like never gave a crap about nothing. You could literally like walk in and break into my house and he'd probably just sit there and not even care. So but he was pretty loyal. Hold on, let me fix my computer. But he was a good dog. I love that dog. And basically when we had moved in, there was the kitchen and the living room were right next to each other, and there was like an archway, like doorway, basically. Like there was no door, but it was just like an arch that you could walk into the kitchen for. And I had my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, we dated briefly, and then we kind of decided that like it wasn't the right time or anything, so we split up. And then we got back together later. But anyway, so we were dating at the time, and he was at my house, and we were sitting on the couch, and we were talking, and then all of a sudden my dog jumps up and he starts growling and barking at this archway. Like, I couldn't see what the heck he was barking at, but his hair on his back was standing up, and my dog never barked at anybody. Like I said, you can come in and probably beat the heck out of me, and he wouldn't have even cared. He might have cared, but like you could probably break in and steal all my stuff, and he never would have cared. And I was so shocked because he was like growling, he was snarling, he was acting all crazy cuckoo, like, at this doorway. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, why does he hate this doorway so much? And that was the only time he ever did that, at that doorway. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the camera, but I'm trying not to, like, knock my computer over. Anyway, but I also had an incident. So my daughter used to stay in the bedroom that was upstairs. So she had her own room, and the backyard had like a fenced in yard and everything. And we were kind of like, we were a corner lot, but behind us was actually a nursing home. So there was no kids around. Like, the neighbor didn't have kids. Like, her kids was all grown up. She was an older lady. Anyway, so my daughter would constantly complain because there was a little girl. She said, this is what she said. She said, there is a little girl who floats up to my bedroom window and tells me that she wants to be my friend and she wants to come in my room. And I was like, wow, that is super creepy. And she's like, she's wearing a white dress. She's got black hair. Like, she's always in the backyard. I always see her. And she always comes up and she floats up to my room and she knocks on the window at nighttime and she makes it impossible to sleep. And my daughter was probably, I'd say she was probably 5 at the time. Like, she wasn't, I don't think she was that old. So, like, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, that scares me all on its own. So I always told her, you know, like, it's fine to be friends with her, but, you know, just tell her that, you know, she can't be bothering you while you're sleeping, you know, especially if she makes it so you can't sleep, kind of thing. But I thought that was just crazy how that is. Yeah, and I was like, well, that's really weird. So my son always had a friend named Thomas, and that was his, like, imaginary friend. And there were times when I questioned whether it was imaginary or not, but my son loved Thomas the Train, so I don't think that that's what it was, like, about, but I don't know. But anyway, there was one day I was up on the second floor, and I think I was getting ready for work. And I had come out of the bathroom, and as soon as you come out of the bathroom, if you look to the left-hand side, there is the stairs. And the stairs go down, and then they go over and down. So I saw my daughter run down the stairs real quick. Like, I just barely saw her. And I was like, what is she doing? Like, why is she running down the stairs? She's not supposed to be running. So I was going to talk to her for something. I don't remember what I was going to talk to her about. So I had gone down the stairs looking for her. Now, the stairs are the only way that's upstairs, obviously. There's no other way to get upstairs. So I go down the stairs, and I'm walking around the living room and the kitchen, and I'm looking for her, and I don't hear her. So I'm calling her name, and I'm like, hey, Amber, where are you at? Yes, my daughter has the same name as me. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I'm calling for my daughter. I'm like, hey, where are you at? And she calls, and she's like, oh, I'm upstairs. It's like, okay, well, maybe she ran past me and I didn't realize. So I go upstairs, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, well, I was just in here and I was taking a nap. I was like, you were taking a nap? And she goes, yeah, just in here taking a nap. And I was like, what? Didn't you just run down the stairs? And she's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she swears that neither her nor her brother were running down the stairs. Her brother was actually sleeping. So I don't know what I saw, but I saw a little girl run down the stairs real quick. And that was pretty much the only time I've ever seen anything in that house. Okay. Sorry you can't stay. I'll probably put this up so you can watch it at any point if you want to. It's just probably going to be boring ass stories. I don't want to be on here for too long, but I just wanted to make my presence known, I guess. Anyway, so another story is, so I used to live by myself. So my boyfriend did not live with me at the time. It was me and the kids. And I had split custody at the time with their dad. So they would go to their dad's house, and then I would have like a week by myself, and then they'd come over for a week, and then they'd go back to their dad's house. That's not the setup that we have now, but that's what we had back then. So when they weren't home, I was by myself a lot of the times. So, hey, so I'm just telling stories. So y'all can listen. If you want to share your story too, definitely let me know. I'm going to see if maybe at some point we can start adding people so that way we can all share our stories and it'll be fun. But basically, what was I saying? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I used to live by myself, right? So I don't know if any of you guys have ever lived by yourself, but being a female, you know, it's kind of creepy when you live by yourself and you don't want people breaking in. Like, I didn't live in a good city, like where, like, I don't think it was that bad, but like there was some crime. I was in the house. I didn't want anybody just walking in. And I actually had 2 doors. So I had like an indoor, like, patio kind of thing going on. And then there was another door where you would just like come into the house. So I would always make sure that the doors were locked whenever I got a shower so nobody could come in. I mean, I probably locked the door whenever I got home anyway, but I'd always double check. So there was the door on the lock on the door handle, and then there was a like deadbolt on the top. And that was for both doors. So I had taken a shower one day and I know I locked both of those locks. And I'm taking my shower and I come downstairs after my shower and the door is wide open and everything is unlocked. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And that happened so many times. It used to be so frustrating. So, like, in my opinion, I kind of think like child spirit, like messing with you kind of thing. There was a lot of times when like I would put something down and then like I'd come back for it a couple minutes later and it was gone, like on the opposite side of the room. And it was just crazy how much stuff happened. Like, I would hear people running upstairs in that attic that I was talking about earlier. I would hear footsteps. I'd hear footsteps up and down the stairs. There was this one time, so I would always sleep in the living room because I was too afraid to sleep in the attic. And there was this one time I had a TV. So I used to play a lot of video games back then. And I would play, like, I played a lot of Fallout back then. I still play Fallout now. But I was playing on Xbox back then. Now I'm playing on PlayStation. Anyway, that's not relevant. So I had an Xbox, but I didn't have like cable TV or satellite TV. I didn't have any of that. The only thing that was hooked up to the TV was an Xbox. And the Xbox that I had was the limited edition R2-D2 Xbox. So it made the like R2-D2 noises whenever you would press it, which somebody stole eventually. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so basically I woke up one night in the middle of the night and the TV was on and it was like that static stuff, but it didn't have any sound. Like the static, like, never, like, you know how it's like, shh. Well, this one didn't have any sound whenever you had that on. So that was on, and I remember waking up and I could like hear people talking through the TV. Like, I don't remember what it said, but it was definitely a man's voice, and it was very like commanding. I don't like if that's the best way that you could describe it. But I was so scared. I was like, fuck that. Like, ignore it. Don't mess with it. And so my boyfriend at the time, who is my boyfriend now, I had a conversation with him because I was like, listen, I'm waking up in the middle of the night, like smelling sulfur upstairs in my attic. Like, it's not cool. I hear things all the time. Like, I'm hearing things through the TV. And he told me, he said, don't talk to them. Like, this was prior to me being an investigator or anything. He was like, don't talk to them because once they know that you talk to them, they're just going to bother you. Like, they're just going to bombard you and it's just going to get worse. And I didn't want anything to do with that back then. So, and this was even after my investigator days. And I was like, so I'm just not going to indulge in that. And it happened a lot for a while. And then I kind of just didn't want to deal with it. So I stopped. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard of things happening like that, Adam, where like people will have dreams of things that relate to something that they're like researching or something that's like going on. I think that's really cool. I had a dream in this house, right? So I told you guys that somebody stole my Xbox, right? So growing up, my mother always watched like CSI and like all those different like murder shows. I don't know why, like she was really into that. I'm not really into that, but that's just me. Like I like a lot of comedy, so I spend a lot of my time like watching The Office. I don't know why. I could just repeatedly watch it and not even like get bored. But I like a lot of comedy shows, and my mom really liked the whole like murder scene. She was like she would watch Snapped and all that kind of stuff. So like as a kid growing up watching that, like that shit scared the heck out of me. Like I never liked any of that. And if you have 2 videos on your channel, I will definitely check them out for you, by the way. I love supporting other people. So yes, I will check those out. So I was always scared, like living by myself, that people were gonna like break into my house. And like I said, I didn't live in a good area. Well, to make a long story short, I knew the neighbor, and like it was an elderly lady, but she had her kids over a lot. Like one of her kids was like 20 something, and she would like maybe she was in her 30s, and she would be at the house all the time. Like she never really grew up. Anyway, so she was one of my friends, and she would come over and hang out at my house. So I needed a babysitter one day because my kids' father couldn't watch the kids, and I didn't have a daycare. So I was like, okay, well, if you want to watch the kids, like, that's cool. So I let her watch the kids, basically, and I guess she has a whole circle of, like, not good friends or whatever. And basically, I had met this guy because I used to be this type of person that would just help anybody, like, for no reason. And I helped this guy who was basically trying to get off drugs, and he was like trying to better his life and all this crap. Anyway, so he basically said that he didn't have anywhere to stay, like all this stuff. And you know, like I wasn't like you should stay at my house, but I was like, well, if you need like something to eat, you can come over to my house, like I'll cook dinner for you, like it's cool, I understand. And he came over while she was over, and he basically stole my Xbox and walked out with it. But a week prior to that, I had this dream that somebody walked into my home while I was sleeping. So it was like dreaming in a dream. But anyway, and I couldn't see who it was, and it was just like an outline of a person who like walks in and like points a gun at me and like takes my stuff. So I had a dream, and I was like, wow, that's really weird. Like, I've never had a dream like that. Like, I was sweating so bad, and I was super scared that, like, somebody was going to break in. And then I'd say probably about a week later, I was at work. She was watching my kids, and he came in, and he didn't have a gun or anything. They knew each other. They were friends. Honestly, if you ask me, they were probably in cahoots. And he just walked in and grabbed my Xbox and took it and sold it. And, you know, but that's how people are. But anyway, I just thought that it was crazy that I had a dream prior to that about that. And I guess that ties in with your dream comment. And you're welcome. I follow a lot of different people, and I try to be as supportive as I can and try to be helpful. I know there's only 3 of us here, but I'm having fun. I like sharing my stories with you guys. What else? What other story? So I did put that video up about my attachments, or my attachment, not my attachments, but I don't really, like, I have a lot of stories from there, but I think I told you guys everything that I, like, remember. But that wasn't a good time for me either, like, in my life. I don't know. But, what else? Oh, my boyfriend says that he has dreams that, like, he sees himself. Hi! From Thailand. We're just talking about scary stories or like encounters that I've had prior to investigating at this point, I guess. Because once I became like an investigator, I kind of kind of got over that fear a lot. Oh, really? Right down to what people were wearing? See, like, for me, it wasn't, I couldn't see what he was wearing. Like, I didn't even know that it was him. It was just an outline. Like it was a predictive, like, this is what's going to happen, but, like, not, like, so much in detail for me, anyways. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to get deja vu a lot, like, all the time. And I would annoy the crap out of my mom. And I would be, I would always say, like, oh, Mom, I had deja vu today, or something like that. Sorry, somebody's calling. We're not answering. It's probably a telemarketer anyway. Oh my gosh, I hate those calls. Do you guys hate those calls? Hello from Georgia. Oh, I live in Indianapolis. So we just moved here probably about 2 months ago. I was living in Pennsylvania, but we just moved here. So my boyfriend got a really good job working here, so he makes a decent amount of money. So he got sent, like, he was working at the same company in Pennsylvania, but they just wanted him to come over here. And they're doing a little bit more training, and they said that, like, maybe he's going to get his own store and, like, stuff like that. So I don't know. But there are a lot of haunted locations over here. Like, I'm really shocked. So I just filmed the old Blackford County Jail. Was that last week? I think I filmed that. And that was kind of interesting. Does he help on investigations? No, he doesn't help on investigations. He's I don't want to say he's chicken shit, but he's not into that kind of stuff. He actually is like he gets kind of scared of that kind of stuff. Like he used to live with his sister to, like, help her save money and stuff. And their house was, like, decently haunted. Oh, you're moving to Texas in June. That's so cool. Texas is a good state, but it's probably really hot. I don't think I could do Texas because of how hot it is. Anyway, so we were actually, like, laying in bed together watching a movie, and the door was next to the TV, and we were on the second floor, and we could see shadows, like, walking. The door was cracked probably about, like, this far. And you could see, like, something walking in front of the door, like, repeatedly, like, back and forth. And so he mentioned it, and I was like, oh, like, I seen it too, blah, blah, blah. So, like, we ignored it the first time, and then we saw it again, and he was like, oh, fuck that, like, all this stuff. And he was like, go out there and check it. And I was like, what, you want me to go check it? And he's like, yeah, go check it. I'll stay here. Like, everybody that goes and checks stuff, like, in scary movies, they die. And he was, like, too scared to go out and look. And I just thought it was so funny. Yeah, he chooses not to associate with it. At our old house, so my boyfriend and I had an older bed, and he has a lot of back problems, so he refused to sleep on it. Plus I snore, which evidently bothers him really badly. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so basically he refused to sleep on it, so he would sleep in the couch in the living room. And he would have to be to work at, like, 6 o'clock in the morning. So he'd always kind of be, like, semi-awake around, like, 5:30-ish. And he said, so he told me this, and this is what he said. Maybe I'll get him to tell the story one time, because I'm sure that, like, him telling the story is much funnier than me telling the story, because he's, like, really scared of that kind of stuff. So basically he said that he heard somebody come down the stairs, and he thought it was my son, because my son likes to sleepwalk. They have excuses as to why they can't go to bed, so they get up and they get, like, drinks and stuff like that. And so he said it was probably about, like, 5 something in the morning. It was, like, 10 minutes supposed to be before he was supposed to be up. Cold in Indianapolis now. It did snow yesterday. Like, how weird is that it was snowing? Ghosts are much scarier. Oh, yeah, I bet, because y'all have, like, thousands and thousands of years on us or whatever. Like, y'all have been around for forever. So He said that he heard somebody walk down the stairs, and it sounded like it wasn't somebody who, like, weighed a lot. Not that I'm saying that I'm fat, but my son is, like, very skinny. Like, he's the youngest. So he said that it came down and it, like, stood on the landing. And where my boyfriend's head was, when he looked over at the landing, there's, like, a wall there, so you can't see on the other side of the landing. And he said that he assumed that, like, Lil Kenny, which is my son's name, was, like, picking something up or something like that, so he'd, like, close his eyes again. So he said that whatever it was, hey, everybody, we're just talking about scary stories. So my boyfriend said that whatever it was, which he thought it was my son, came over, and there's, like, a coffee table right next to the couch. So he's laying on the couch, and he said he had his eyes closed, and it came over and, like, stood next to him. He said he was so tired he didn't open his eyes. I don't know why he didn't open his eyes. And he said he regrets not opening his eyes either. But he said it sounded like swish pants, which I guess are, like, basketball shorts. I don't know. I was like, what the heck are swish pants? I don't know what our swish pants are. So, like, basketball shorts are, like, silky material rubbing together. He said that's what it sounded like. And then it stood there. And he said that it stood there for a little bit, and then he heard it basically go, like it's going to go back upstairs. And he said it stood on the landing again. And he said he opened his eyes to look, and he said he was expecting to see my son walk up the stairs, and he said he didn't see my son walk up the stairs. He said he left his eyes open, and then he said he even got up and went to the stairs, and there was nobody standing there. And he said he went to my son's room because he thought it was my son, and my son was sound asleep, snoring. He said I was snoring, and my daughter was snoring. So he has no clue who that was. So basically, when I got home that day, because he leaves for work before I do, I had gone to work, and then I came home, and there was, like, these 2 rings out on the coffee table. Now, my boyfriend is someone who is slightly religious, but I wouldn't say in the Christian way. I guess he's more, like, pagan. I don't even know if he'd want me to share this information with you guys. But anyway, like, not putting him on blast or anything. That's just... So anyway, he has these rings that he uses for, like, rituals and stuff like that, and they're always in the drawer in the coffee table. And I got home, and they were out on the coffee table in the far corner, and they were stacked on top of each other. And I was like, well, that's really weird. They're not supposed to be out. So I left them there because I thought maybe he, like, had, I don't know, he was doing something with them or something like that. And you're right, spiritual would probably be the best way to describe that. I don't know why I just threw that out there. But I guess, anyway, so I asked him when he got home, I was like, why are your rings out? Like, were you doing something with them? So he proceeds to tell me this crazy story about how he heard somebody walk down and, like, stare at him while he was sleeping, but he didn't open his eyes. And I was like, he's like, I didn't take those out, and they should have been in the drawer. And he said the more he thinks about it, he thinks that he did hear somebody, like, slightly open the door, but he was so scared for, like, the longest time of that. And he had these dreams where, like, he would see himself, like, but he would be himself, and then he would, like, see himself doing stuff, or he would, like, he said that he had a dream one time in that house where I came down the stairs and I was talking to him, and then all of a sudden I came in through the front door. And he always had dreams where there was, like, doppelgangers of everybody in the family. He did say that he did have a dream of this guy who threw a tomahawk at him. I don't know. He had all sorts of dreams, but I think maybe someday I'll have him on the channel talking about his experiences, because he is not somebody who likes that kind of stuff. To him, that's, like, creepy. So I bet him explaining it would be a lot funnier than me explaining it, because it's not scary. It used to be really scary for me, but it's not scary anymore. So what other experiences did I have? Yeah, it's very creepy. He definitely didn't like any of that. He told me, he said, if he was like, if I ever see two of you, I'm freaking out and I'm leaving and I ain't dealing with that shit. And all this. Like, I don't think you'll ever see two of me, but okay. Like, I've never experienced the whole like doppelganger thing. I do like if you guys have watched a lot of my older stuff, I have kept in touch with Sabrina, who is my she's my film girl. She doesn't film for me now because I'm so far away. Like we're 6 hours away from each other. And she works at Walmart, so her hours aren't very like regular. And she's been going to Hillview a lot. And she said that she's been going with one of the friends that we met at my fundraiser, actually, and he's a nice guy. And she said she was there with him and she saw a double of him while they were at um, Hillview. Something similar in Australia to podcast. Oh, okay, I'd definitely like to hear more of that. So, my seance experience, um, is that wait, okay. So, am I stupid if I have to look up what seance means? Because I know that like people kind of throw that word around like loosely. Oh, come. Okay, so basically, are you talking specifically about the Ouija board one, where we were at Whisper's estate using the Ouija board? Because if that's what you're talking about, that comes out Monday. I just scheduled that today. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. I don't have like any conclusive answer as to whether or not like Ouija boards are real or not, because I'd never say that. Okay, when you do investigations, or like you guys even like watch people do investigations, a lot of you partake in your investigations that you do, and you watch a lot of people, and if you notice, everybody's so different. Like a lot of people use EMF, but I don't use EMF, or I use EVP and Spirit Box, and some people might not use them. And that's because like everybody's got their own way of doing stuff. And they find what works best for them, or they want to know, like they want to do what's credible for them, or I want to do what's credible for me. And people they pick and choose what kind of equipment they want to use. And I'd never say that like their equipment is invalid. I'd never say that like their experience is invalid or anything like that. And I do explain that in the video that I post that will be up on Monday, that that's not the goal. Like I'm just trying to see if, Ouija boards can, one, do the thing that they're stated to do, or that people think that they can do. And then for two, just trying to see like how well I can get it to work, and like if any of that is real, if you can even talk to spirits with that, or if you can use the Ouija board as a paranormal tool to effectively get results. And that's what I did, and that's what I was testing. So do you guys have any thoughts about the doll? Like, so here's my problem with the doll. Like, I used it, I didn't get anything with it, which is fine. I kind of expected that was going to happen. But my problem with the doll was that I make a comment where there's like 6,000 some odd like dolls that people are selling on Etsy. I am good, Ashley. Are you good? I hope you're good. So like there were so many dolls that people were selling on Etsy, and that just makes me curious. Like, one, are there really that many haunted dolls to begin with? Like, two, if you think about it, they said 6,000 some odd haunted dolls just on Etsy. That's not on eBay. That's not on Letgo. That's not on Facebook Marketplace. That's just on Etsy. And then you kind of think, well, how many haunted dolls are there in the world? And then you also have to think, how did they discover that the doll is haunted? Like, how do they know? And then my problem is this. So, like, I know that there's definitely like a ritual that you can do to make a doll haunted, or you could intentionally trap a spirit in a doll. I just don't know if morally I'm okay with that. Because I would imagine that that's not something that, like, if I was a spirit and I got trapped in a doll, I would be really angry. I don't think that that's something that any spirit wants, right? Like, and that's just my view, like, from the outside looking in. I'm definitely not, I've never intentionally put a spirit in something. I guess the same would go for Dybbuk boxes. I know that people sell those. Do you think I should buy one of those and test one of those? Do you guys want to see that? You're from the UK, enjoying the sunshine. That's so great. I know that it's been very cold over here lately. For some reason, it was snowing, which is just sad. But I don't know if you guys would want me to buy a Dybbuk box and test a Dybbuk box, but I'm just not, like, I'm not morally okay with intentionally putting a spirit in something to trap it. Like, I can get it if it's like an evil spirit or whatever and you need it like gone or something like that. But if you're just taking, like, if you read the information about a lot of these dolls, like I was reading the information when I was filming, and they all have like a backstory. They all have like different names and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, where did they get the information? And for two, like, is any of that accurate? Like, how do they get this information? So I don't know. And that's just my thought. I'm not saying that like haunted dolls aren't a thing, because we do know that haunted dolls are a thing, like Annabelle and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's going to be like hit or miss whether you buy an actual haunted doll online or not. And like some of the prices that people were asking was just outrageous. Like, I seen somebody that wanted $500 for a haunted doll. Like, that's a little crazy. Like, I could see Annabelle selling for $500, possibly even more than $500, but just like $500 on the premise that maybe you'll get a haunted doll just because like somebody says so, I think that's just a little bit, I think that to me is a little bit too much. What Ashley, what kind of ghost shows do you like? Playing with my hair a lot. Oh, also, I got a balayage a couple weeks ago. Oh, did they? The Paranormal Files channel. Yep. I would imagine that they probably did, because to me, like, that doesn't, like, I'm not saying that they're not real, but, like, to me, it doesn't seem like that's real. Like, especially, so, like, with the blunder that we had with the whole haunted doll thing, like, I don't think that, I think, I don't even know how to word this. How do I word this? Like, I'm not saying that people are scamming you, but like, to me, it just sounds like a way for people to make money, which is unfortunate, but it happens all the time. Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures. A lot of people like Ghost Adventures. I like Ghost Adventures, like when Nick was on it. You guys know I love Nick Roth. And I liked I liked him a lot. My mom was a Zach Baggins fan, and she laughed so hard. Oh my god, what episode was it? So there was an episode where they had like, they were outside the building and they were just like filming shots of the building or something, and a school bus like rolled up and the lady like rolled down her window and she's like, "Oh my god, Zach, you're so fucking hot." And my mom laughed so hard. She was like, "Tell him." Like, I don't know why my mom loves him so much. Okay, so in Thailand, we have to do some rituals before playing Ouija board and have to tell the spirits out after finished. If not, they would be followed and disturbed by ghosts. Some are dead, so dangerous. Okay, see, like, that's like, my problem with the Ouija board was, okay, I did this. This is basically what I did. So I was going for a 7-day So like a week-long test to see if I could get the Ouija board to work. And I basically tried to do everything wrong with the Ouija board that you weren't supposed to. So I heard a lot of like, don't do it at 3 a.m. Don't use it by yourself. Don't use it with an odd number of people. Don't take your hands off the board. Don't not say goodbye. Like, and I tested all of that. I did all of that just because I don't know, like, there is so much people talk about if not doing it correctly. Yeah. And there's so much like everybody, I even asked Instagram, like I even said like, "Hey, I can't get the board to work. I'm like 3 or 4 days in. Like, what do I got to do to get this board to work?" Because I would imagine that you probably don't have to do much, right? I don't know. I've never like that's the only time in this 7-day period where I've really used one. Do I have any? Yes. So I have both Instagram and I have Facebook. So if you look me up on Instagram, it's going to be Amber Lynn underscore. Oh, here. Let me type it for you. So it's Amber Lynn underscore 0221. It's going to look a lot like that. And then let me see what my Facebook is. I do have a Facebook page, but to be honest, I don't use Facebook that much. I don't really know why, but I'm a very positive person, and for some reason, like, everybody on YouTube is so negative, and all I see is people fighting all the time about people's opinions, like politics and freaking religion, and like it really, really bothers me. I hate stuff like that. Like, why do we gotta fight about stuff like that? Like, keep your opinions to yourself. That's just me, though. I'm not the type of person that pushes my opinion on other people. So that's, but anyway, let me see. So I will warn you, I don't use Facebook as much. I'm definitely on YouTube or Instagram a lot more. I'm very active on Instagram. I always try to answer like people back. So my Instagram is just Amberlyn. And then I do believe that I have a Facebook page for the YouTube channel. So it should just be Amber's Asylum on there. And then obviously I have the YouTube channel, but I don't use Facebook that often, but I keep my messages open on Instagram. So if you guys ever need anything, go ahead and just shoot me a message. Like if you have any questions or if you want me to review anything, I do a lot of that. A lot of people ask me if they could tell me like their stories and stuff like that. But I primarily try to keep it open so that way anybody that has like an attachment can contact me, and I'm very good at responding. I don't know if you guys talk to me through Instagram, but like if you guys send me a message at like 3 o'clock in the morning, normally if I hear my phone, like I'll get up just to check it, just to see. Lately, it's been a lot of people just hitting on me, which is, but I mean, post more on your Facebook page. I know you follow all of my social medias. Yes, I do know that. And I'm very appreciative of all of the love that you guys send and all of the encouragement that you guys have. That definitely makes me feel a lot better. I think since starting this, so I started my Instagram probably about 2 years ago. And I basically was just on Instagram and I did a public ghost hunt, which was my first public ghost hunt I had ever done. I was super excited. I did one at Hillview with my best friend, Sabrina. And we basically went, we had such a blast. We had so much fun. And we were walking down the hallway. So that basically, oh, it wasn't even a ghost hunt, you guys. Wait, it was a convention. It was a paranormal convention. And that's the only one I've ever been to. I don't think I've ever been to any other ones, which is kind of sad, but it was a paranormal convention that we had gone to. And we were walking down the hallway, and what they did was they took all the nursing rooms and they turned them into like vending stations, like for vendors. So like people were selling different stuff. I actually bought a voodoo doll, which I thought was like really cool. And basically you could go in and you could chat with them. And we were walking down the hallway and we heard a baby cry, like an infant. And I was like, wow, like I haven't seen kids like all day, like let alone a baby. So we ran down the hallway and we were asking all the vendors if they heard the baby cry and if they had seen a baby. And everybody was like, no, I've not seen a baby. Like I didn't even hear it. So we were the only ones that heard it. And I thought that was super crazy. And then basically I had gone on my first public investigation after that at Hillview, and I had posted on Instagram about it, and everybody was so like encouraging. The whole community is so positive, which I greatly appreciate. I really thought that I was going to be met with like, haha, you go ghost hunting, like you're so lame kind of thing. But I actually didn't get that at all, which is great. So I encourage anybody to start up a YouTube channel, like especially in this field. Like it's super cool. But I basically started posting more and more about all the places that I was going, and then eventually like people were really chill with it. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I want to see like what happens." And it was so surprising, but it's just so beautiful to be met with such wonderful people and such wonderful comments about everything. You are welcome. Yeah, definitely hit me up on Instagram. That's my jam. I love Instagram, heart Instagram, Facebook not so much, but do more solo investigations. More solo investigations are coming. Actually, the old Blackford County Jail, I just filmed that. That was a solo investigation, by the way. So, and they do own they technically own 4 other locations, but 2 of them have not been cleared to investigate yet. So once they get those cleared, I'll do those 2, but I'll definitely do the other 2. So they actually own Randolph County Asylum, which is here in Indiana. That one's coming soon. I have to film that still. And then they also own a place called Stone Mansion, which is here in Indiana, and I'm going to film that one. There's also Hannah House, Monroe House. Let me see. I'm trying to get into Loveland Castle. If you guys know where that's at, that's in Cincinnati. It's a very, very old castle that they have turned into like a visitor's park. They basically, okay, so little background on the investigating. What they do is they make you pay to come investigate, which is cool. I don't mind paying. That's not my issue. So normally you pay before you go. And they were like, okay, well, it's $300, but we want you to send it through the mail. I don't trust money going through the mail, so I'm trying to get around that right now. And I sent them a message. I was like, is there any way that I could just pay it like with a credit card or pay it with a debit card? Because I don't want to send $300 cash in the mail and, you know, you say that you're going to give me an investigation and then not. I don't think they will, but there was a place in Cincinnati that actually just got in trouble because they were making people pay for investigations and then not opening up the building, which is kind of shady. But a lot of investigations are coming. I've got a lot of places lined up, and pretty much all of those are going to be by myself. There is one specific one, which I'm going to leave a surprise. That one's not going to be by myself, but I'm super excited about that one. That one's good. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I'm very, very excited about it. Hint, hint. So that one will be coming. Yeah, I'm not really sure. So it's called Loveland Castle. Let me look it up. It's called Loveland Castle Museum. And it says that also known as Loveland Castle is a museum on the banks of the Little Miami River north of Loveland, Ohio, in the United States. A folly of a historical European castle, construction began in the 1920s by a Boy Scout troop leader, World War I veteran, and medievalist Harry D. Andrews. So I guess that he constructed it just to be like a model of a European castle. So that's basically what I'm seeing. Already forgetting you forgot I was following you. I have a lot of people that follow me, so forgot I was following. Okay, wait. So you're saying that you forgot that you were following me. That's okay. That's fine. I get forgot all the time. No, it's cool. I understand there's a lot of people like in this field. Like I follow a lot of you guys because like I'm very supportive about the things that you guys do, and a lot of other teams like come to me and ask me for help, and if I can help them in any way I can. So that's why I follow a lot of people, so that way I can kind of keep in touch. Sorry, I'm trying to get closer to the camera. And there is so many. Like when I first started, I did not think that there was going to be that many people like in this field, but there's a lot, you guys, like a lot. And like I was saying earlier, like some investigators are really different. Like there are some people who kind of think everything is paranormal, and then there are some people that you have to move a building to get them to believe in the paranormal, even though they're an investigator yourself. You ever watch Ghost Dimension in the UK? I don't. If they're a TV show, thank you. So if they're a TV show, I have a hard time watching TV shows. So I have heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, so I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. I have heard that most contracts that you sign to be on a TV show require that you dramatize your reactions and that you fake evidence. And I've talked to quite a few different paranormal investigators who said they have turned down a TV show because they were asked to do that. And I'm telling you right now, if I get offered a TV show and they ask me to do it, I will turn it down because I won't be involved in that. That's not my style. I really don't appreciate people who do that kind of stuff. I think it hurts the community, so I would have to pass it up. I wouldn't accept that. I don't know how we got there. Because I'm definitely not accusing anybody of anything, but I've just heard through different people that that's how it goes down. And that's just not something that I would do. So I think that in general kind of just discouraged me from watching a lot of TV shows. Not that they're faking, but me knowing that kind of makes me question like whether or not they are faking. And I think that's why I just don't watch too many TV shows myself. Also, I know that like it's not like TV shows is like cut and dramatized, and I know that they can edit it in different ways to make it look like stuff's going on. So, I mean, that's why I don't really watch too many TV shows now. I will watch YouTube shows sometimes. There's quite a few. I've been watching paranormal lately, and they're not like really, really popular. I watch a lot of people who are kind of like in the same boat that I am, like a lot of people who are starting out, because I like to give advice and I like to see what they're kind of doing. Not that I'm trying to like copy them or anything, but I just like to see like, you know, is there anything that I can learn from what they're doing just to like be better? Been on a walk through my local graveyard, heard voices, turn around, no one was there. I have been in a graveyard at nighttime. I don't recommend it. Don't do that because you can get in trouble. You will get in trouble for trespassing. I've done it once. And at this graveyard that I used to generally like live kind of close to was a pretty cool like hangout spot for me during the day. It was a really big graveyard. And actually it wasn't a graveyard. I think it was a cemetery. Isn't the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery like a graveyard is connected to a church, right? Okay. I don't think this one was connected to a church. So basically they had like a bunch of different sections and it was really large and you could walk through. And I thought it was so pretty. I think I did post some pictures like in my story a while ago of that place. I can't do that now because I don't live anywhere close to it now. But I have been at one time. Do you guys remember when the people dressed up as clowns used to like walk around town and like scare the shit out of people? So my boyfriend, again, the scaredy cat boyfriend, me and him went to this cemetery at nighttime, and he has really bad eyesight, like really bad, especially at dark. So he's got like glaucoma and stuff like that. And we were walking. We weren't even in the graveyard yet. We're like walking down the road, getting ready to get in the graveyard. And he sees this thing in the distance, like standing in the road. And he automatically thinks that it's this like killer clown. Because that was back when, I don't know, when it was like popular. So he was like, oh my God, it's somebody dressed up as a clown. Holy shit, like they're going to kill us, all this stuff. And he was like complaining so badly. And we finally like, we're walking up to it and we're getting closer. And I realized, because I couldn't really see what it was. I'm like, it's not a person. Like, I can tell you that. It was a friggin' deer. And he thought that it was one of those killer clown people running around. Anyway. But we went there, and of course he was on edge the entire time because he thought it was super creepy. So, but yeah, I don't do investigations in graveyards only because I don't want to get in trouble. I have kids, so like the last thing that I need to do is get in trouble. I'm sure there are a bunch around here in Indianapolis. I think I passed one the other day, but I'm not exactly sure. But also, back on the killer clown thing, like we had gone to eat dinner. This is how crazy it was. So we had gone to eat dinner and we were coming out and we were walking to our car, and our car was right next to like the main road that ran through like the city. And somebody was dressed up as one of those killer clowns, and they stuck their head out the window and they started yelling and screaming. And my boyfriend was like, "What the heck is going on?" But that's crazy. I'm glad that that died out. I'm not really a clown fan. But if somebody would have came up to me dressed up as a clown, like trying to scare me, I'd be ready to throw punches. Like, I'm not even kidding. I would not deal with that. But yeah, I think there's quite a few different places that I tried to get into, but like nobody responded back, which kind of sucks. But I know a lot of you guys have been requesting like certain locations, and they're kind of hard for me sometimes because like, one, they cost a lot of money. Like if you look at places like Ohio Reformatory or like Moundsville, they cost like upwards of $1,000 per night, and that's just not something that I can afford. Hopefully eventually I'll be able to afford something like that. I just can't afford something like that now. So, which kind of sucks. But I don't know. I don't know. Do I have any more stories? Do I have anything else? Let me think. I don't know, because I'm the type of person that like if I do, like I've seen a lot through my peripheral vision. So if I do have something, like I really try to debunk it or try to, you know, rationalize what's going on. So I think that's probably why I forget like all the experiences that I've had. Not all of them, but like some of them. I don't know if you guys watched that Madison Seminary episode that I posted last year, but Madison Seminary was like super creepy for me. And like, I'm sorry if you've seen it and I sit here and I explain it, but so if you watch the tour, they explain that there's this little girl named Sarah who they think is a demon. And they kind of emphasize on that a lot. And they said that they're like not too sure, but they think that she's a demon. So basically, Sarah is a little girl entity that they cannot prove. They have no documentation that Sarah ever existed. So that I think that's part of the reason why they think that it's a demon. And also like it likes to ask for stuff. So anyway, that whole investigation was like super scary. And so it was me and Sabrina all alone. And we were in the asylum. We were getting ready to set up. We were not even set up yet to like film. Have I ever been? I have not. So I've actually never been out of the United States. So I know I'm boring. I'm lame. I'm trying to get there, but with the whole COVID thing and like financially, that's just not a good move for me right now. I think eventually I would love to travel to the UK and do stuff over there. I just don't think that that's a good option right now. But I do hope to do that. So basically we're setting up. We're not even, so the first thing that I do is I take the tour, and then I usually set up my static cams. So those are the rotating cams that I have in between like significant like pieces of evidence. So I'll usually put them in, then I'll usually like put the location in the corner. If you've watched my videos, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I was setting up the static cam. So I hadn't even recorded yet. And me and Sabrina are talking, and we started talking about Sarah. And Sabrina basically refused to say Sarah's name, like the entire investigation. She like refused to say Sarah. So anyway, so we're talking, and then all of a sudden, you just hear like bang, bang. Look up, and we're both like looking over there. And she was like, "Oh my God, someone up on us." And I was like, "I know." So I have the audio from that. I do play that in the Madison Seminary episode. But man, was that crazy. I was really sucks, and that's a bummer. But I mean, it kind of happens when it wants to happen, regardless whether you're ready or not. But so I'm struggling with my camera. I have my GoPro, my full spectrum GoPro at this point, and I'm struggling to get it to turn on. I'm freaking out because I just want to hurry up and like capture what's going on. Like, I need to get this on film. So I quickly turn it on, and then I go to hit record, and my SD card says that there's something wrong with the SD card. So it's not allowing me to film anything. So I'm freaking out. She's freaking out. And I look at her and I was like, okay, we need to calm down. Like, let's just go outside, gather our thoughts, like figure out what we need to do because I got to get this camera working. Like, let's just reset basically. So we go outside, we're talking, we're like, oh my God, that was freaking crazy because I've never gone like, usually you have to go in, you have to kind of like stir up activity and like a little bit happens here and there. And then maybe like one big piece happens and then like you're done for the night. I've never been to a place where like stuff is happening like that. That's the only place I've ever been to where I just walked in and stuff happened. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So we're talking outside. We're like, oh my God, what was that? Like, we're talking like theories. And I'm like, I got to get this crap to work. Like, I cannot get my camera to work. So I finally figured it out. I swap SD cards. I test it out while I'm out there. I'm like, okay, let's get it. And then there's that shot of me talking, and I kind of explained what was going on. And I hope I did well explaining, even though like I was so like, oh my God, what's going on? Because I was like, I've never had that happen before. So we finally get back up there and we decide that we're going to sit down and we're going to do a spirit box session right then and there. So I set up my cameras around us and we're right across from what they call the mind control room. So they said they're not really sure about the entity. I think they said maybe it was a female, but I don't really remember. That was last year. So they had said that people lose their like emotions come over people who enter that room that aren't really their own emotions, and like sometimes they'll decide to do like stuff that they would never normally decide to do. Like they would just not necessarily lose their mind, but just like not be of themselves. So we're sitting across from that room. Sabrina's got her back to that room. I'm facing that room. And we're recording for Spirit Box. And we're getting stuff through Spirit Box. And we hear her name say that she's Elizabeth. And Elizabeth was one of the females who was in that building. She was, who was she? Oh my gosh. She was involved in the Civil War. I know that she was handpicked by Lincoln to be a spy or something along those lines. If you watch the tour for that video, they explain who she was, but she was of significance and she did live in that. She's buried in the little graveyard thing that they have on the side of it. But anyway, so we're doing Spirit Box. We get Elizabeth. We get a couple different things, and like Sabrina does this thing, and she turns to me, and she's like, "What do you think about you know who?" Because she still can't say Sarah. And I kind of look at her, and all of a sudden through the Spirit Box, it says, Sarah, Sarah. And we were like, what is going on? Like, how? So the entire, like, I think it's like, I don't know how long we sat there with that Spirit Box on, like 40 minutes maybe. And it was just popping off one after another. And I couldn't believe that it was just mocking us basically, and it was so crazy. I have never been on location with Katrina Weidman. I have never worked with anyone who is on TV, I don't think. And the only reason I met him was because I paid for his tour. So it wasn't like I was getting privileged or anything. I paid literally $200 to investigate with him, and it was basically just him walking around supervising everybody, which is cool. I didn't mind that. I also have a signed photo of him, and this is a part, like, I love Nick Groff. Hold on, let me get this. But yes, so I have a signed thing from the Nick Groff tour that I paid for. But it's because I paid for it, not because I've ever met anybody just like who invited me to go. I mean, I don't think I'm that cool yet. But anyway, So we're doing the spirit box session and we're just getting answer after answer. It's very responsive to everything that we're saying. And oh my gosh, it was so scary. Still at work, but wanted to pop on and say hi. 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 Dan text. We're just talking. I'm talking about some of the scary things that's happened. Some of it I had mentioned earlier, like I haven't talked about yet. And then right now we're just talking about the Madison Seminary episode. I don't know if you've seen it or not. But anyway, basically, what was I saying? Oh, so we were doing the spirit box, got a lot of stuff happening during the spirit box. And there was actually one point where I was sitting there and I saw a shadow cross in front of the mind control room. And I like freaked out. And I wasn't going to run away, but I definitely, the best way to describe it is like flight or fight response. And I definitely felt that. And I had to fight myself because like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation where like so much stuff is happening. It takes a lot out of you, mentally, physically, like it takes a lot of energy and you get really tired like really quickly. But the primary thing is like everything in your body is telling you to leave. Like everything in your body is telling you to run, to get away, like you're in danger. And you have to fight that, like when you're on location and you're experiencing things like that. And I think that's why that was so scary, is because sometimes you'll go to places and you won't really experience it like that heavy. You'll experience like some things here and there, but you don't generally have to like fight to stay there. And that's basically what I had to do like in that episode. I had to fight my body because my body wanted to run away so much. And I think I even said at one point, like, I'm so scared that I can't even like stand up to get away even if I wanted to. But I ended up like scooching over because I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to see shadows. Like, that's not something I want to deal with right now. Yeah, that's in the Madison Seminary Part 1 episode. That I don't think I did a very good job of editing that episode, which is a shame because there was a lot of stuff that happened. If you can watch through it and like not be bored, then kudos to you, because I didn't rotate cameras. I didn't add extra music. I don't even think I turned the spirit box down. That was very early in my editing days. I didn't edit that episode very well, so it didn't get a lot of credit, but that was probably one of the most like juiciest episodes I have ever done, was the Madison Seminary one. Like we had a lot of stuff going on. And so there was an EVP recording later on where we were in Sarah's room, and I had asked Sarah how old she was, and somebody came through and somebody said 10, which it was a male's voice. And it said 10, and it didn't even sound like a kid. It sounded like an older person or whatever. I don't know. And then I think I remember asking, like, do you want money? And it said, like, no, or something. Or maybe it said money, or like I asked what it wanted and maybe it said money. I don't remember. But there's a point where I walk out into the hallway and I ask, like, does anybody know what Sarah is? Like, and somebody said a fucking liar. And I was like, oh, damn, like, they're dogging Sarah now. Like, and I think that just goes, like, I think that lines further with the whole truth of it being, like, not necessarily, like, a little girl. Like, maybe it's pretending to be a little girl to get attention. There's also a point where me and Sabrina are actually just talking or bullshitting in Sarah's room, and all of a sudden you just hear these scratches, like, in the wall. And we make a joke because when you walk, you didn't see it, but when you walk into the primary building, there is a net catcher. There's like I don't know, there was like a net like for catching fish or whatever, I don't know. And we make a joke and we were like, oh, the net was for catching raccoons. So I don't think that I included that as paranormal, but I really did think that it was weird that there was scratching on the wall. I don't know if they have a pest problem. I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying that that was really, really weird. Yes, Madison Seminary is an amazing place to investigate. I highly suggest it. If you want the building to yourself, it's only $300, which isn't very much compared to some of the other places and how much they're charging. So Madison Seminary is definitely a recommend. If you haven't watched the Madison Seminary episode, you should go back and watch the Madison Seminary episode. There's a part 1 and a part 2 on my channel. The part 1 One is very juicy. It's got the tour. It's got everything. There's so much fascinating about Madison Seminary. I would love to do a return to Madison Seminary. However, I'm like 6 hours away now, which kind of sucks. But what's the best location I've done? I'd say the one where I got the most results was Madison Seminary, but I don't really, it's hard to say like that I have a favorite because different people experience different things when you go to these locations. So like I could walk in one day and like I could walk into Madison Seminary one day and not experience a damn thing. And then I could go the next day and stuff would be super crazy. Like it's not, the problem with the paranormal is it's not consistent. You know, it only happens when it wants to happen. Like it'll pick and choose who it wants to present itself to. And I think I really like going to Hillview Manor because they generally choose me to show themselves to, which I know sounds really selfish and that's not what I mean, but I used to live in the town of Hillview Manor. So Hillview Manor is located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And I spent a lot of time at Hillview. That was where I had my first paranormal convention. That's where I did my first paranormal investigation, my first overnight one. That's where I did my first public event where I hosted. Like that's, to me, it was just, it's something sentimental to me and I really love the building. But the last paranormal investigation I did was actually, so I used to work at a park and we would work April to November and then the zoo would basically close in between. So we would be like laid off and stuff like that. And I remember asking my friends if they would want to go. And because they had never been ghost hunting before. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll take you. Like, I'll teach you. I'll introduce you. Because I have my stories that I talk about. And they're like, oh, well, that's like pretty crazy. So I remember we went as a whole group as like a job outing or like a celebration of the end of the year. And it was so fun. But there was like 10 of us there. And to be honest, it's so hard to investigate when you have 10 people because, you know, Sally and Joe are having a conversation over here, and Mariah and so are having a conversation over here. That's not their names. I'm just making shit up. But basically, like, it's kind of hard when you have that many people. So anyway, they were kind of a little bit skeptical, like, going into it. And I had walked in, and I turned on the spirit box. And this was, like, when we first started. I walk over, I turn on the spirit box, and it goes, hey, Amber. And then it goes, hey, Amber's here. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Yes, exactly. They remember me and they feel comfortable around me. So they come over to me, they say hi, they chat, they ask, how are you? We're good friends. We're tied up in there. So it's just really fun to go in and be able to, it's almost like they just want to chat with you. They just want to have a conversation with you. They just want to feel normal. And, you know, I give them that when they come up to me. I don't ask them like, oh, how did you die? Like kind of stuff like that. I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh, how are you today? Like, are you working? Like, what's going on? Kind of thing. And I think they really respond very well to that. But I really like Hillview because, you know, I can walk up in there and they respond very well to me. It was very fun. And they were like, wow, it said your name. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, this is my place. This is where I hang out. I've been to Hillview like probably 10 plus times. Like I just really enjoy going there. A lot of my earlier stuff is from Hillview, and I've never done, which is kind of sad, I've never done like a full-fledged like Amber's Asylum episode for Hillview. Like I did a small compilation of like clips and some things here and there, but I never did like a full formatted video for Hillview, and I feel kind of bad that I never did. But honestly, I really want to go out there and do one. I'm 6 hours away now, which kind of sucks, but if I do get the chance to go back out there, I will do a full-fledged, maybe even solo in Hillview Manor. And I think that would be really cool. But I know that if I go there, I gotta invite Sabrina because I can't do one without her there. Yeah, definitely. I treat them like they're a living person. You know, I think if I try to treat spirits as if like I was a spirit. So like, what would I like to be questioned with? Or, you know, how do I want to be treated? I don't want to be bombarded with questions, or like I don't want to feel like I'm being like annoyed. I don't want people, that definitely would be awesome to go back. I know I've talked to Sabrina about it before. So again, Sabrina is my cam girl from back in the day. So she's not really my cam girl anymore because we live 6 hours away, and she's on a very like non-solidified schedule for where she works. So it's very, I think it's time. Yeah. So Team Star says it's been 6 years since they've been to Hillview Manor, and they think it's time to make a revisit. I would definitely do that because I do keep in touch with a lot of the tour guides there. I'm friends with them on all my social medias, like on Facebook and stuff like that. And Sabrina's been going there a lot, and she's been telling me that activity has definitely picked up there, and things are getting more active and they're getting wild. She said that I know I said this earlier, but she said that she was there a couple nights ago and she saw like a doppelganger of one of our friends. So I've never experienced that at Hillview. I've never even known anybody who experienced that at Hillview, but that's crazy. She did take a picture of it. But I mean, I wasn't there, but she said that she took a picture of it and she showed it to me, and I just thought that was super crazy. So I would definitely want to go to Hillview again. And I know that for a long time, they really didn't talk about the Creeper. And then I kind of came in and I started having experiences with the Creeper. And then all of a sudden, like, the Creeper started popping up for everybody. So I don't know. I'm not saying that that's my fault. I hope not. I hope that wasn't me. But I don't know if it was just because it was prior to the pandemic and like maybe he's just more active now because he didn't get the chance to be active during 2020 and stuff like that. So I do know that that's kind of something that's going around now. For those of you that don't know, they say that there's an entity called the Creeper, which basically doesn't, like, it's got a humanoid, like, shape, but not really human. I'm not really sure. I think I've never seen it. I know Sabrina said that she saw it once, and she said it was kind of, like, stretched out, like, really, like, limby and, like, skinny, and she said, like, maybe, like, old manish, but just, like, drawn out, kind of. But, I do have an EVP from the Creeper. It has been confirmed that it was from the Creeper by Hillview Manor. And, I was really surprised to hear it, but that is on my Instagram. So, Ashley, you can check that out on my Instagram. I have a lot of EVPs and like spirit box sessions from Hillview on my Instagram. I think I might go through and I might start transferring them to YouTube and making like my most memorable EVPs or something like that. I think I might do. So the plan with the YouTube channel is that I do one investigation one week and then like a different video, like maybe a testing video or a memory video or a story time or something that's not an investigation the second week, and then back to an investigation on the third week. I think that's what the pattern that I'm trying to follow right now. Oh, we've been on here for almost an hour and 30 minutes. I can pretty much chat. So I was a little worried because I was like, man, I don't really feel like being talkative. So I was hoping that somebody was going to come up and like chat and talk. And honestly, like, that was really talkative. For somebody who doesn't want to be talkative, that was really talkative. But to be honest, I could talk for like hours. I'm sure that we could keep going and talk and talk and talk. But honestly, I'm just so happy that you guys are here, that you guys want to be a part of everything. I'm so happy that you guys love everything that's been going on with the YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you guys are here for it and that you're supporting it. Honestly, that brings me so much joy. I love investigating so much. And it's a big piece of who I am. And to be able to share that with you guys is just it's so heartwarming. It makes me so happy. Again, like, I was really afraid that people weren't going to respond well to all of it. And I never, like, when I started my Instagram, I never thought that we would be on YouTube with 500 subscribers. Like, that wasn't a thought in my head. When I started Instagram, I was like, I'm going to help people with their attachments, and that's what it's going to be for. And, you know, I'll post some interesting stuff here and there, and, you know, and maybe I'll get made fun of, but who cares? And that's how it all works out. Like, I don't know, like, just be positive in life and things will come full circle for you. I guess. I don't know. I'm very positive. I try to stay positive because, like, I used to live my life in the negative, and that doesn't get you anywhere. And I mean, if you want something in life, you got to go for it. And that's what I did. I was like, I love ghost hunting, and you know what? I'm going to share it with people. And then it spread into this idea of a YouTube channel. And we're even like, I'm on the path of making merch right now for the channel. Like, that's how much we've grown. And I'm so proud of that. And I know you love my episodes, and I'm so happy that you love them and that you share them. That's so great that you share them. You definitely don't have to do that. If you don't want to share them, don't share them. You don't have to. But I definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate all the likes, all the watches, everything that you guys do. You guys are the main portion of this channel. Like, yeah, the camera's on me, but, like, you guys are the encouragement behind it. Like, it would be nothing without you guys. Heart. Oh. My cat's out in my living room making noise, so if you hear that, it's not somebody breaking into my house. It's just my cat. He's crazy. He's not very nice. Does anybody else have a cat that's, like, not very nice? Because my cat is not nice. I just started watching fantastic content. Thank you so much. I love that you love it. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up. Make a little comment. You know, share with your friends or whatever you feel like doing. And if you don't like it, definitely tell me that you don't like it. You know, if you don't like that I say something, or if you don't like my results or whatever, just tell me so that way I can make it better. And I love listening to feedback. I love the suggestions. It helps make the channel grow. I'm very much open to it. But if you definitely like it, give it a little thumbs up, because that's how the channel grows. YouTube algorithm is super weird. Like, I never even knew this, but I've been, like, researching YouTube and stuff like that. And so, like, YouTube has this algorithm that basically, like, if your video is doing well, they will promote it to other people. And that's how you stay on the relevant list. So, like, you guys as viewers, you know that there's, like, a relevant list, like, on the side. And you always see that, but, like, I don't think people really think about it. But the reason why you see relevant things is because people are commenting a lot on them and they've liked it a lot. And that's why it pops it up over there. And, like, a small channel like me with only 500 subscribers, like, is not going to pop up in that relevant channel because it's not growing enough momentum to get it noticed by the YouTube algorithm, which is kind of sad. So it's not really relevant to tags or titles or even, like, searches. It's relevant to how many people enjoy your content by commenting. And you know what? Even then, it's not even, like, enjoyment. So if you guys hate something that somebody is doing and you comment, like, that supports them. Just so you guys know. I don't know if you guys know that, but like, I've seen videos that are, like, terrible videos of, like, not even intentionally trying to see them, but, like, you know, you get baited into watching, like, these videos with, like, the clickbait friggin' thumbnails. And they're, you know, it's not even about what the thumbnail was about. And everybody is commenting and saying that. It's not because the video's good. It's because there's a million comments complaining that it was clickbait. And the YouTube algorithm doesn't know that. It thinks, hey, people like this content, and then it puts it in the relevant list up higher. And that's what happens. So I'm so happy that you want to show your support. That makes me happy. I'm a one-woman show, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it's just me. So I do all the research. So I do all the planning. I reach out to the building, make sure that I have permission to film there. I make sure that I can fly my drone. I make sure that I can use my equipment. I make sure that I'm going to be the only person in the building. I secure all of that. I'm the one that pays the money. And then I go. So I'm the one traveling. I'm the one that's filming on my more recent ones, so the solo ones. However, if you watch the older ones, I did have a film girl. She's not my film girl anymore, only because we live so far away from each other now. We're like 6 hours away, so it's hard to schedule things together. But anyway, I do the filming, I do the investigating, and then I get home and I do the editing, I do the self-promotion, I do all of that. That's me. My problem is, I know people have offered to help. It's just, I can't. There are so many people who fake evidence and I'm not saying that there are certain people that do it. Okay, let me, there are so many accusations of people faking evidence, and that's just not something that I want to deal with. If I want somebody to be, let's say I do invite somebody on the show or on the YouTube channel, and they get accused of faking evidence, I don't want to be associated with that. And that's just me being protective of everything that I built. Yes, it makes it harder for me, but honestly, I'm going to be the only one who treats my channel with the amount of respect that I want. You keep it real in your episodes, and that's what us fans want, true investigations. I really hope so. I hope that you guys want true investigations, because sometimes I watch some of these other YouTubers. No shame to them. Get what's yours, do your thing, that's fine. But sometimes I watch stuff and in my mind I'm like, this is so fake. And that's just me thinking. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But then I see, like some people who even get called out on being fake. Or like there was this one group, I won't drop any names. There was this one group who basically accidentally posted a video of them faking their evidence on their own YouTube channel, and they took it down right away, but they had like 500,000 plus subscribers, and I don't think they lost any subscribers to that. And that was very discouraging to me, to know that people who are on that level intentionally fake evidence. And that makes me sad. Oh, I hope you enjoy your day at work. I hope that you have a good day. I hope that this brightened it up. I hope that you are good and you stay positive and you get to go home and you get to watch the whole video. Not really. If you don't want to watch the whole video, don't watch the whole video. Go watch the Madison Seminary episode when you get home, though. I promise it's good. I hope you have a good day. Anyway, but yeah. The best way to validate your experience is to dive in yourself and get it done. You know what you're looking for and you're doing great. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's so much easier when it's just you. So like, you can have a big group. I think, everybody's style is different. No shame to people who do it, but some people have a really big group, and that's just not something I like doing, because if one person out of that whole group fakes evidence, it ruins the whole group. And I'm not okay with that, and you also have, the more people you have, the more chance for contamination you have, the more control you don't have. There's a chance that if you hear footsteps and you've got 10 people in your group, you hear footsteps, well, maybe you can't account for everybody. So then it kind of goes, well, is it paranormal or is it somebody from my team? And I think that's why I like investigating solo, is because if I'm the only person that's there, I know that, right off the bat, this is what I should be experiencing and what I shouldn't be experiencing. And I think I really enjoy that. And I don't see too many people doing solo investigations. I really didn't think that it was really heard of until I started looking around, and I guess a lot of people do solo investigations. So kudos to them. It's very hard doing solo investigations. You'll see over the next course of the probably the next 5 solo investigation episodes, they're hard to film. So I have a tripod that I use for a static cam. I'm going to need to get another one, because at this point, this is what I'm doing. I'm basically holding my camera, and it's got a mic and it's got a light on the top of it, a big box light. And it hurts my arm, so I do a lot of moving. I'm very sorry for that. You'll see that in this old Blackford County Jail episode that's coming out after the Ouija board episode. And man, I feel bad for y'all that you have to watch that. But I gotta figure something out because solo investigating is a lot tougher because I have so much equipment. You know, I gotta carry it all by myself. I gotta do it all by myself. It's just, it's not something that I'm used to, but I gotta get there. Do you guys have any questions for me? Do you want me to continue chatting? It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys. If you guys have something to do, by all means, go do that. Don't feel bad. I'm surprised I'm still talking, to be honest. But I really like talking to you guys. You guys are so accepting and so loving, and I appreciate that. Do y'all have any questions for me? Anything that you want to know? Anything. I don't have a water in here. I just realized that. It's been 2 hours without water. If you guys don't have any, keep up what you're doing. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better. I do feel like people really do like the realness of the investigating aspect of it. And I think that people respond really well to it. Sometimes I get discouraged because I see all these people who, you know, look like they might be faking evidence, and I see how many followers they have, and you know, sometimes I'm just like, why? You know, it's a lot of work, but very rewarding. Yeah. Have you physically witnessed anything completely unexplainable? Physically. Okay. Okay. This might get repetitive, but if you guys have watched my my terrifying paranormal attachment story, I don't know if you've seen that or not. If you have, there is a story in there that is kind of physical. So for anybody that hasn't, I'll tell you the story. Basically, during my attachment, sorry, I'm talking a lot, so now my throat hurts. So I had a lot of experiences during my attachment. It was a lot of like oppression and things like that. So I changed a lot of how I thought during that time. Like, my emotions kind of weren't really like my emotions. Hoping to watch more haunted and scarier videos. So yes, of course. But so basically, we were up in our bedroom. My boyfriend at the time is not my boyfriend now. Sorry. We were arguing about something. I honestly don't remember what the heck we were arguing about. I don't remember. But it was a very bad argument. All of our arguments were really bad. So we used to like yell and scream at each other. Anyway, so we had gotten into this argument where we were yelling at each other. And he liked to do this thing where he would pull in his parents' opinion. I don't know why. But anyway, so he went to go downstairs to ask them for their opinion. And basically, so this was an old house. I don't remember how old it was, but it was pretty old. The whole house was pretty much like the floors were all wooden, like the door was wooden. The door wasn't heavy, it was really light. And there was actually about this much room between the door frame, or like the end of the door, and the door frame. So the door actually never shut properly. And we had to get one of those like metal latches that like kind of had like the hooky things on it, and it would go into like the other side. We had to get one of those to close the door, because if you didn't have one, the knob never touched the other side. Like it never caught because it wasn't close enough. They didn't cut it right. So the door would always just kind of like swing open. So he unhooked the metal latch and we go to pull open the door and it's not moving at all. And he's like, what the heck's going on? So we're thinking that somebody is standing on the other side of this door holding it because they heard us fighting or whatever. They were thinking they were being funny. So he starts screaming. He's like, let go of this fucking door, like all this stuff. He's shaking the door like violently, trying to yank it open. And this guy, like, my ex-boyfriend is not somebody who isn't strong. He used to get in trouble a lot for fighting. And anyway, but basically, he's trying to yank open this door. He can't get this door open. He's yelling. He's screaming. He's like banging on the door, trying to get it open, like yanking on it. I can't physically understand why the door is not opening, besides assuming that somebody is on the other side holding it. So we're trying to get whoever is holding it to let it go. We think that it's his brother who is living in the house. And we're like, let go of the fucking door, like all this stuff, like not fucking kidding, gonna whoop your ass kind of thing. And I don't know how long we were locked in that room. I really don't. It seemed like forever, but I know that my perception of time probably isn't accurate. I want to say like 5 minutes, but it probably wasn't 5 minutes. It was probably only a couple minutes that we were locked in that room. And I remember him yanking the door open and going, what the fuck? Because there was nobody standing there. So he hurries up, and the stairs, so the door's here, and here's like the landing, and the stairs are right here. They're like literally right next to the door. So he whips around, looks down, and there's nobody on the stairs. And the stairs were right next to our room. And everything in this house was made out of wood. So you definitely would have heard somebody running up down the stairs like super quickly. And we run downstairs, and he's like, who the heck was holding the door? Like, that shit ain't funny. Like, all this stuff. And they're like, what the heck are you talking about? So it's his mom, his dad, and his two brothers. And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, chill, dude. And he's like screaming. He's like, don't you hold my door and all this stuff. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, calm down. What are you talking about? So we get it out, and we're like, we came down here to get advice or whatever. And the door basically would not open. Like, somebody was holding it. And they're like, no, it wasn't us. Like, you totally would have heard us walking out. You would have seen us when you would have swung the door open. There's no way we can run down there that fast. So we were all kind of like, wow, that was crazy that we were locked in that room and we were arguing. But another thing that happened during that attachment, if you haven't seen the attachment video, I talk about this one too, where in that room, when we were given that room, there's actually 3 closet doors in that room. So there's one primary closet, it's like a regular closet, and so there's a regular closet, and then the roof kind of slants like this, and we're kind of over here. I know I'm doing a lot of hand gestures, I'm really sorry. But we're kind of like off in this room over here. So our room kind of does have like the slant on the top, and there's a regular roof, and then there's a second roof off to the side of the house. And basically that roof, you could see where it could go down in our room, like where the top like would be. And they actually built like a small closet onto that. So there was like a crawl space closet type thing in that. Our dog used to like to lay in there. And there was a door for that one. And then there was also on the back side of the room, the way that the house was set up was, it was kind of like an attic, but it was a side attic. So it actually ran from one part of the house all the way over to the other part of the house, but you could only get into it from our room. So there was 3 doors in this room. And I remember the first night that we slept in it, we woke up and all of the doors were open. And we were like, okay, like that's really weird. Like, no, we're not dealing with that. So my ex decided that he was actually going to put chairs in front of these doors so that way they wouldn't come open. And I woke up probably about like midnight, 1 o'clock or whatever, and all of the chairs had been pulled into the middle of the room in like a circle, and all the backs of the chairs were like pressed up against each other, and all the doors were open. And I remember being like, oh my God, that was fucking scary. Like that. And again, the door that we had a latch on the inside of the door. So there's no way that somebody could have come into our room to do that, because you can't, the latch is on the inside. You cannot, it would be basically be locked. And I am a very light sleeper. So if it was him, I would have heard him moving or like getting up out of bed. And that to me was like kind of, I don't know if it was like showing off or whatever, but it definitely fed off my fear. And I felt like I was a target a lot through that. But basically, it was so scary, because I think that's when things really seemed like it was going to be physical. And I was like, if it can move chairs, like, what else kind of thing can it do? And that was when I was really, really scared. Yeah, it was basically like it was showing its strength. Yeah, it was like flexing. Love all your investigations. Hoping to watch more haunted and scarier videos. I already read that one. I read it again. Saw Bigfoot again, Amber. No, I did not. I don't know if you guys know this. Bigfoot is my fear. Isn't that crazy? Like, after all the paranormal crap that I've been through, like, I don't fear demons. I don't fear spirits. But Bigfoot is the one thing that I am freaking terrified of. Like, I refuse to go searching in the woods for it, because honestly, like, if I see it, I'm going to freak out. Like, I'll probably cry. I'll lay down in a fetal position, and I'll rock back and forth, and I'll fucking cry my eyes out. Honestly, I would imagine if I saw Bigfoot, like, my heart would probably just stop, and I'd probably die. Like, just out of fear alone. Like, I can't. Yeah, Bigfoot is fear for sure. Especially, like, I don't know. So I have Discovery Plus, which I got because, oh, by the way, like, I love 90 Day Fiancé. I thought 90 Day Fiancé was there, like the current season. It's not. Don't get it if you think that the current season's on there, because it's not on there. Anyway, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I gotta watch other stuff now. So I've been watching Expedition Bigfoot, which was really interesting. I watched the first season when it was actually on TV. And I wanted to keep up with it, but when we moved, I actually didn't get TV anymore. Like, we didn't get, like, a new cable thing. I think we were spending way too much, so we just have internet. Anyway, so I was like, I'm going to catch up on the episodes, and I watched season 2, and season 2 was crazy, y'all. Really crazy. Like, if you would have asked me before watching season 2, like, if I believe in, like, Bigfoot, like, cloaking stuff, I would have said no. I would have been like, anybody that thinks that is crazy. But now, watching all of the evidence that they have compiled, it makes me question it. I'm not going to say I wholeheartedly believe in it, because I know that there are TV shows that dramatize and, like, do stuff. Bigfoot evidence is nuts. It's nuts. Bigfoot definitely scares me, and that's not something I'm looking forward to going and looking for. And everybody always asks me, why don't you go looking for Bigfoot? It's because I would cry. If you want to see me cry, that's exactly how you're going to see me cry, because that's not something I'm willing to do. No, it's not. But definitely catch up on all the episodes. You guys can watch them whenever you want. Let me know what you think about all of them. I definitely love all the suggestions. Is there anything else you guys want to ask me? It is 3:03. I want to see it. Oh, yeah. You want to see it. Interesting. Yes. Not sure if it's true or not. Yeah. Only saw it on TV shows. Yeah. Me too. I did have an experience once or twice. Wait. Okay. So one time, my mom had me picking some sort of berry. I don't remember what they were. Same. I need a bazooka to find Bigfoot. So I was picking these types of berries because my mom likes to bake. And I'm, like, on this dirt road, because it wasn't, like, too far away from the house. I knew where it was. And my mom had me picking berries. And I remember picking berries. And all of a sudden, like, something didn't smell too good. And this was when I was young. I was maybe, like, 11 or 12. I don't remember how old I was. Anyway, I remember I got super scared because my mom would always watch that Finding Bigfoot show. And I was scared of Bigfoot at that point. And my stepdad used to mess with me because we lived in like swampy woodlands area, and he was always like, if Bigfoot's gonna live anywhere, he's gonna live here, like all that stuff. And I think that really didn't help. Anyway, so I was picking berries and it started not to smell very well. And I was looking around and I could hear like branches breaking. And I was like, what the heck is that? So I look over and there was this like big black mass. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying that it was a Bigfoot. I'm not saying that. It could have been a bear. But I just remember seeing something like this mass push over this tree. And I was so freaking scared. I ran home. I was probably crying. I probably peed myself. I don't know. So I had that experience, which might not even be a Bigfoot experience, but it was just something that was really scary for me. And then during the Finding Bigfoot thing, so that first one might not have been when Finding Bigfoot was out, but this one was definitely when Finding Bigfoot was out, when they used to do the tree knocks. And my sister knew, the little bitch knew that I was scared of Bigfoot. Like she knew that I was scared of Bigfoot. Love to her though. And we went for a walk and she was like, oh, I'm going to pick up this stick and I'm going to hit it against this tree and we're going to do a tree knock and see if anything knocks back. And I'm like, please don't. I'm basically begging her, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, that's not, no, we don't want to let Bigfoot know where we're at. Please don't pick up the stick. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm like begging her frantically to not do this. And she's like, it's gonna be so funny. And she thinks that she's hilarious. So she picks up this really big friggin' stick and she smacks the tree with it. And we're both sitting there like, I'm stunned that she actually did it because I was begging her not to. And we're both like listening. And then all of a sudden you just hear a tree knock back. And she dropped that stick and we both fucking ran home as fast as we possibly could. I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die because my sister wants to be a little bitch. I'm dying because she wants to pretend to be funny. Like that's not cool. And I remember being so scared. We ran home. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm even alive at this point. Like, why would you ever do that? And I remember my mom was like, what's going on? What's going on? And she was like, we did a tree knock and we got something back. And I just remember my mom was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was not fun. Nope. And then my stepdad, the last time I seen them, we had this big campfire going. I was there on vacation. Yeah, wrong idea. She tree knocked. Don't do that, please. And basically, he decided that he was going to do a tree knock. And I heard one back, and I was on the opposite side of the campfire than my boyfriend, and I fucking got up, and I ran next to my boyfriend, and I, like, hid my face in his fucking shirt because tree knocks are not cool. I don't like tree knocks. Not cool. Like, to me, I don't know. Very scary. Very scary. Anyway, so it is 3:07, and I've been on for almost 2 hours. And I hope this was entertaining for you, because this was fun for me. Do y'all have any more questions before I leave? I will say I do have to get off soon because my kids are going to be done at school and I have to go pick them up. There's 6 of you guys. That's crazy. 6 of y'all wanted to continue to listen to me ramble on about random stuff. I honestly thought maybe we would have like 1. I was still going to do it anyway, but no questions? No questions? No comments? You've been on a long time. Yes, I have been on a long time. And a lot of energy. Yeah. I just, I always have this much energy, honestly. I love talking to people. Like, I'm not one of those types of people that'll like shy away from a conversation. I once had, okay, so this will be the last story. This isn't even paranormal. This is just me being a friggin' weirdo. But I have a follower who really likes gum, which is cool. That's cool. Everybody got their own thing that they like. And he likes blowing bubbles. And he asked me one day, he asked me a question and I answered him back and he was like, wow, I'm surprised that you answered me. And I was like, oh, yeah, like I answer everybody on my Instagram. Like I try to be fair, you know. And he's like, oh, you know, like that's cool. And I was like, yeah, I can basically have a conversation with anybody, like about anything. And he was like, really? About anything? And I was like, yeah, about anything. He goes, can you have a conversation about bubblegum? So I started listing off like all these interesting facts. Like I was like, oh yeah, I love bubblegum, but honestly, like I don't love the bubblegum flavor. Like I love Hubba Bubba, like especially when I was a kid and I liked the taste. Like, and I just went on and he was like, oh my God, you really can keep a conversation, can't you? And I can. And that's because I used to work in customer service for a really long time. I used to work at a store, so I had to keep conversations with people who were ungrateful to me. And then I worked at the zoo, so I did a lot of check-ins for like admissions, and then I sold a lot of items in our gift shop. So, and people would ask me questions about our animals and questions about the park, and I could keep a conversation. So yeah. About the seance next time. Yes, I could talk about the seance next time because it's not technically, it's not up right now, so I don't want to give out too much information about that. However, if you guys want, I could actually do like a live a week, like one live per week if you guys want to join every week, and then we can just talk about our stories. I'd love to get some other people on here to chat and to just talk, because I think that would be fun to exchange stories because maybe y'all have something to say that reminds me of something that I went through or something like that. So, hello, Three Souls Paranormal. I'm sorry that you are joining at the tail end of this. There was like a whole 2 hours that you missed. That's okay. It probably wasn't that entertaining. It was just me telling stories that may or may not already be on the YouTube channel. That was it. And I've told some of those stories on Instagram, like through Q&A, and I'm pretty sure I've told some of those stories like on podcasts before because I've done a couple interviews. Just got home from work. LOL. Well, I hope you had a good day. I'm sorry that you had to be at work today. Work sucks sometimes, but I hope that you have a job that you enjoy because having a job that you enjoy is so important in your life, just like positivity wise and all that. Like some people have jobs that they don't like. One live a week. I think that would be really cool. That would be very entertaining. You guys can watch me do dumb shit all week about the seance next time. So, okay. Are you asking about the Ouija board seance? Because I don't think I've ever had a seance like with a medium before. Because I've never really like, so I met a sidekick once and I did explain that in my attachment video. Have you ever heard of Snyder Cemetery? Okay, that depends. Where are you located? Are you located in Pennsylvania? Because I know that there's a Snyder Cemetery in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, like out in Moraine, and I've been to that one. I've been there like 3 or 4 times. But if that's not the one that you're talking about, then no. And actually, I've been there like 3 or 4 times. It's a small private cemetery for those of you that don't know what it is. But I've never had an experience there. And I was really sad about that. My friend says that she has been drug out of there and that she's seen red glowing eyes and she's seen all sorts of stuff. So she introduced me to it. And I've been probably about 4 or 5 times, 3 or 4 times. I don't know how many. But I've never had an experience there. I did try to use Spirit Box there once. And I think I did get a couple answers. But nothing like too significant. Nothing like scary or anything. And you know what makes me really sad is like this is a private cemetery and there's so much like vandalism going on there, which makes me really, really sad. They actually have a plaque on the outside of the cemetery that states that like these are all the people who should be buried in this cemetery, and they have a list. I think I read an article once. I think they did like a ground penetrating radar or whatever there to try to figure out how many bodies are buried there. And I think they said It was somewhere in the 20 range. And for those of you that have never been to this place is very small. It's probably about the size of my room. It's not that big. So it's surprising to hear that there should be 20-something bodies in there. We did a live stream there Saturday night and we captured crazy REM pod going off and captured a white mist. That is really cool. I will definitely check that out. I've been there before, but like I said, I haven't really experienced anything. Never been a fan of outdoor investigations. Too many things can corrupt the investigation. I also do I'm kind of on that fence. I think that's why I don't do a lot of outdoor investigations, but this place is pretty cool. People who vandalize cemeteries should be cursed. LOL. Yes, they should. Like, people have legitly like knocked over these gravestones, like the headstones, and it's sad. You can only actually see probably about 4 or 5 headstones there now compared to how many there should be, and it's very sad. But yeah, I will definitely have to check that out. I've been debating on getting a REM pod for myself, but I don't know if it's worth the money. Do you think it's worth the money to spend on a REM pod? My nose, because I got them allergies. Oh, those fancy allergies. I'm going to check my email. The 101. Okay, what is... Okay. Always annoyed when investigators hear a noise and suddenly it's paranormal. I do agree. There's 20 graves there, and yes, the REM pod is a must for investigating. Damn allergies. Those dang allergies. Yes. All right. Well, if you think that it's worth investigating with one, I've used one before. My friend used to have one, and when we would go together, he would bust his out. I'm debating on buying one. I probably will. So you'll see that coming then. But anyways, let me know what y'all think of the different videos. And remember to give the videos a likes. I enjoy the REM pod too. Okay, cool. Then a REM pod it is. We shall buy the REM pod. All right, well, I do have to get ready to go pick up my kids from school, and it was so nice chatting with everybody. Thank you guys for staying. It has been like 2 hours. I'm so sorry that you guys have been here for so long, and if it wasn't anything that you expected, I'm sorry, but we're just chatting, that's all. Love the videos. Keep them coming. Hi from Chicago. Oh, you're not that far away from me. I live in Indianapolis. We just moved here like 2 months ago, and this city's crazy. I've never lived in a big city like this before, so you are so welcome for the time. Thank you guys so much for participating in this weird live. This is actually my first live on YouTube, so pretty cool, huh? All right, guys, I will talk to you guys later. If you want to watch the whole thing, I'm going to try to put it up on the YouTube so that way you can watch the whole thing. I understand if you can't sit for 2 hours and watch the whole thing. I don't think I would be able to. But thank you guys so much again for staying and chatting, and I will see you. I'm going to try to do one once a week, but please understand that sometimes I get very busy and I can't. So thank you. Yay. Oh, I love you guys. All right. Thank you so much. This makes me sad. I don't want it to end. It's okay. All right. I'll see you guys later. And if you want to watch it, I'm gonna try to get it up there. All right. Thank you. Hopefully you'll be live soon. Understand if not. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try. All right. Bye.